What's going on, folks? How we doing tonight? Tonight we are open mic 3 tonight, sports topics. Everybody, we'll just go. We'll start with well, on the camera it looks like we got left. But Jamie,
Yeah, how's it going? Tonight, everybody. I'm back this week after last week I was at a dinner with my cousins and I got home late and I didn't forgot that we were doing this, but at least I didn't make any plans. I said I would be back and I'm here watching the Yankees game right now. It's currently 3-2 Mets. Joe, the Mets guy down here, we do our Yankees Mets. We're doing our episode tomorrow of the Subway Conversation, Chad, and like I said, they just made it 3-2, and Carlos Mendoza went and pulled his pitchers, putting in a righty reliever, and Austin Wells is coming in to pinch hit for Narvaez, who was starting tonight because the Yankees came up with this idea of just basically playing a whole lineup of righties against the lefty Catones. So,
got it. Dylan, welcome to the show. Not in your normal, not in your normal spot.
I am in Springfield, Illinois, visiting family. By the way, it's Jose Quintana, Jamie.
Yeah, Katana. I'm sorry. I do know who he is, though. Joe and I do the show. I just didn't pronounce his name right. Sorry. I apologize.
Dylan, I believe that the Simpsons were filmed, right?
Well, you should be thankful that Paul Skeens didn't strike out 18 of you Yankees tonight.
We don't play them actually until the final 3 games of the regular season. It's going to be at Yankee Stadium.
By the way, good news and bad news, Adam. Bad news is that Paul Skeens lost. Good news is I think he might be the favorite to win the Cy Young.
Wow.
I got him for Rookie of the Year. I know Rookie of the Year. Daddy's definitely going to win. He's going to win one of the two.
For
He might
sure.
pull Fernando.
We'll shoot underneath.
I think
Trey,
he should win Girlfriend of the Year too, though, with Olivia Dunn.
Trey, I guess we'll leave you on the message of Olivia Dunn. I'm sure you got tired of that name throughout the college years.
Yeah, appreciate joining it tonight, talking, I guess, all things sports. And I'm more of a college football guy, but I'll try to add some content. Doghouse Podcast, check it out. YouTube. And we're also on X, Twitter, Instagram, all that. I don't know if we're supposed to go ahead and do plugs.
Oh, that's fine.
I did have a question for you guys. Are the Braves just have too many injuries? Are they done, or where's the Braves at? I don't really pay attention until October, but I know they had a lot of injuries, right? Atlanta Braves.
They look brutal.
Tonight's game was postponed.
Well, that's a bonus. No, I just saw that with Acuna. Then it went to Albies. Then it went to what was the other big bat? Austin Riley got pulled late last night. We thought he got hurt for a minute. His wife apparently was going into labor. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Probably a couple days.
When you got two big pitchers out too, you got Fried and you've got Strider that are both out.
It's banged up, man.
Done? No. Done for winning the division? Yeah, you're not winning the division.
Yeah.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Yeah. Lopez is going to have to carry him. They're going to go where Lopez goes. You hate to put that kind of pressure on a rookie, but
you walked right into that one when you said playoffs.
Oh, I know. I was waiting for it. If nobody else did, I was going to do it. But yeah, I mean, should they make the playoffs? They should. Yeah, I mean, their offense is going to still be good enough. And you got to remember, they haven't had Michael Harris in a long time either. Michael Harris has been out for quite a while. But we've still got enough offense, and the bullpen is pretty solid. I think they can make the playoffs. What they do from there, then I don't know.
Well,
I
Trey,
think they dug too big a hole.
Trey, while you're sitting here, Dijon Edwards, what do you think? Think he's going to be all right on the Steelers? You think he has a chance to hit the lineup? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, he's probably practice squad. I mean, he might get a look. Spunky little player. I mean, not the fastest guy, but runs hard. I mean, if he has, as you know, in the NFL, get some injuries, but I don't know, maybe practice squad. We'll see. I mean, he might make the roster.
I picked him up, so hopefully he does make the roster.
Yeah,
Taking a wild card shot on him. Why not?
Yeah. Hey, but he's good out of the backfield, dinking and dunking. Well, is it definitely going to be Russell Wilson speaking of the Steelers, or any chance Fields pushes him, or is Russell's team?
I read something yesterday. If Justin Fields keeps this up, there's a chance Russell Wilson is not even on this team.
Really?
I read that yesterday. And
Do you think they would cut Russell Wilson or maybe trade him for a draft pick or something? I don't know.
I have no idea, but the contract's worthy to be traded for sure. I mean, Denver's pretty much carrying 85% of this.
No, because if you get rid of guess who your two quarterbacks would be if you cut Russell Wilson? It would be Fields and Kyle Allen, who was on the Bills and now he's with the Steelers. Wow.
Yeah, I'll pitch into this too. First of all, Joe Dalio here. Thanks for having me on. Glad to be a part of this open mic. Couple of things, Jose Quintana came out of the Yankees game. So with the Mets bullpen in there, it should be 6-3 Yankees pretty soon. As far as the Braves are concerned, they are certainly not out of it. Baseball's playoff format rewards wild card teams, so the Braves have a chance to go all the way based on that if they get hot at the right time.
Or even the Mets.
And possibly. And, as far as you talking about Russell Wilson, nobody's going to take up that contract. So, it'll be interesting.
I mean, look at Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk figured that out. Nobody was going to take his contract. So he said, damn, I better report.
Jamie, here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. The Steelers are only paying Russell Wilson like $2.5 million.
Right.
Remember,
injuries.
Remember, Denver has him under contract for the next 2 years at $40 million and $40 million.
And that's what Bo Nix probably going to be their starting quarterback too.
And that's a
good.
good.
Russ is paying the tab. Yeah,
I did not remember that, so that's a good ad there.
That's why I was saying.
As many injuries,
if they do.
Yeah, as many injuries as there's going to be in the NFL, and we all know, like we're sitting here, there will be at least one or two starters that get hurt season-long injury. It could be anybody, and it could be anybody. It could be Josh Allen. It could be Kyler Murray. It could be, Aiden O'Connell. It just doesn't matter. But
you think Aiden O'Connell
would there be a spot for Russ if he doesn't make?
Although maybe not with Mr. Trubisky.
Start over Minshew?
Say again.
You think Minshew or Aiden O'Connell?
I was using that. I was just using that as an example. But somebody's going to get hurt, and they're going to need a quarterback. Whether, because let's be honest, 90% of the backup QBs in the NFL are pretty trash. 90% of them are. There's a few, like Gardner Minshew, that are serviceable, but most of them are hot garbage. So would Russ have a place to go? Possibly. I
don't think Tyson Bagent was that bad with the Bears, though, for a guy coming out of Division II when he played.
Somebody's got to play when Caleb Williams has his meltdown.
Caleb Williams, man, that dude's got it freaking made. I mean, with the way they pay these quarterbacks now, it's like, look at what they gave Trevor Lawrence, and freaking Caleb Williams could go in there and look half-ass and still get a second contract because of the way they pay quarterbacks.
Wait a minute.
I lost.
Wait, you just in Trevor Lawrence, Jamie? He's a good
quarterback, but Dylan, look me dead in the eye and say, do you think he was worth the big bucks though? Like he was worth Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes type of money though? Like, you know?
Hey, Jamie, Trevor's 2-0 against Josh Allen.
Well,
Right, but that's all he's basically got. I mean, is 2-0 against one of the best quarterbacks with nothing else to show for really worth $250 million though? That's my point. But with all due respect, that's the way the game's going. The quarterbacks are going to get the money. That's just where we are.
Hold on. If we have our college guy, I'm going to ask Trey what he thought of Caleb Williams throughout the college career.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, Caleb Williams, great athlete. He was very mobile, but I think a little bit of a prima donna, like you mentioned, a little bit of a head case. I mean, he's got the skills and everything. I don't think I would have drafted him number one, but I mean, he's got a lot of potential, but you just got to see what kind of culture and fit it is.
It was just a foregone conclusion that was going to be the pick. I mean, that's pretty much how every number one pick is now. It's like they take all this time to do it, and everybody knows who it's going to be. Mm-hmm. It was the same thing with Carolina. Everybody knew it was going to be Bryce Young when they took 12 minutes off the clock to decide.
Let me see how that's worked out.
2021, everybody knew it was going to be Trevor Lawrence with even though Jacksonville took their sweet old time, but still.
Panthers should have picked CJ Stroud.
But let me ask you something though, Trey, right?
Yeah.
Bryce Young was on a team with basically no receivers around him. So he's basically throwing the tackle dummies, whereas CJ Stroud went to Houston and basically had all the talent around him and threw him the ball. But do you think if you put Bryce Young on Houston and then put CJ Stroud on Carolina, put CJ Stroud on Carolina where he has no weapons around him, and put Bryce Young on Houston where he has weapons. Reverse the roles. What do you think would happen?
Jamie, before last year, tell me you knew who Tank Dell was.
I knew who Tank Dell was. He was a rookie running back. In the preseason, he looked really good.
But he's not a running back.
He's a receiver.
Right, and I saw his.
He's a Pro Bowl receiver.
Right.
He looked damn good in the preseason. I saw what he did in the preseason. I watched the game.
Jamie, you just came on and said that CJ Stroud had all these weapons around him.
More than Bryce Young did at Carolina. Yes.
Okay, but CJ Stroud made all those weapons.
Yeah, but like I said,
he made Nico Collins.
Did you watch the draft or listen to what Kirk Herbstreit said? Kirk Herbstreit is a former quarterback,
right,
and he said Kirk Herbstreit said Bryce Young did not forget how to play quarterback. He just had nobody to throw to. Kirk Herbstreit said that on the draft.
Right, but Jamie, but you said that he had all these big name receivers to throw to, and he didn't. He had to make them a name.
Well, right, but I mean, Bryce
Young did not, but
right,
CJ Stroud made them a name.
Right, but your quarterback doesn't throw the ball to himself either. You have to remember that.
But he made him a household name.
You still have to throw two guys that will catch the football. That's the way it is. I
get it, but I was just saying.
Also, I would have went with CJ Stroud just on the measurables, man. 6'2", 6'3", 220, and Bryce Young's 5'9", 180, 185.
That I do agree with. That I do agree with you on. CJ, the measurables I agree with because Bryce Young's a peanut brittle and CJ Stroud's tall and built.
The moron I had in my dynasty team that I just took over traded CJ Stroud for Bryce Young.
Oh, wow.
The other thing you got to look at, too, is look at what they did in college, okay? CJ Stroud had really good receivers around him, really good offense. So did Bryce Young. You come to the NFL, neither one of them had a whole lot to work with. I mean, I'm sorry. Devin Singletary, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell ain't anything to write home about.
You're making Devin
But he
Singletary.
brought all those guys up.
Devin Singletary's a decent running back. I would know.
Decent.
Joe and I would know as a Bills fan. He wasn't a bad running back on the Bills. Don't diss Devin Singletary, my guy. You're not going to do that.
Decent, average, decent, not great, decent.
What?
He didn't have any superstars on that offense to work with, just like Bryce Young didn't. But CJ Stroud made those guys better.
Mhm.
All right.
Bryce Young didn't.
Just like who the hell heard of Troy Brown before Tom Brady?
Mhm.
Right. And that's one other thing, too. When you look at the draft from this year, who else could have legitimately gone number one?
No one.
No.
Last year, it could have been Stroud or Young. Either one you could have gone with, and everybody would have said, all right,
I got it. Don't worry. I got it. All right.
Jamie got it, baby.
So some years
Sorry,
you have that one guy. Some years there's that one guy that everybody knows is number one. But there are other years where you can argue 2 or 3 people could be number one. There's a few different years that we've had that happen, back the last 25 years even.
Let's go back to 1998. And how did that work out? Pretty much, and that worked out the way it did. Or 1999, right? Tim Couch went number one. Donovan McNabb went 2. Now, to be fair, Tim Couch had a crappy expansion team to begin with, but still.
Man, he went to Kentucky. Come on.
Sorry, what was the expansion team?
The Cleveland Browns.
When Cleveland got their team back.
99, Tim Couch was drafted, yeah.
By the way,
Rodgers.
Cleveland's first game back in the NFL was against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
43-0.
Again?
Yep.
This is an argument for everyone. I believe the Ravens were the expansion team because the Browns went and built a new stadium. Baltimore wanted a team back, so they took the expansion team of the Cleveland Browns, didn't cancel the Browns, or else Jim Brown would be a Baltimore Raven. Because
we know what the real reason is, Adam. A nasty man called Art Modell got greedy and thought he could make more money in Baltimore, so that's why he moved the Browns.
The Browns got expansion
In 99.
franchise in Baltimore then that a team just left and went to. They kept the Browns in Cleveland. They never took the Browns out of Cleveland.
Right.
Because if they did, all the stats would have went there. And Cleveland would have been a brand new team when they came back with no prior history. Because they didn't, they kept all the stats in Cleveland, and that's why Baltimore was the new franchise.
Right. That's why if you look at Houston and the Titans, all the stats and everything are melded. The Houston and Tennessee stuff is melded together. Completely separate deal with the Browns. The Browns kept all their stuff. Baltimore created all their own. And then, of course, the Colts created their own stuff. Baltimore, Indianapolis Colts created their own things in Baltimore or in Indy, where all the Baltimore Colts stats went with Indianapolis. So, the Ravens just kind of became that dropping, Raven or expansion, like you said, expansion team, where Houston and Tennessee just melded the things together.
Man, I wish maybe we can have this conversation once one of our guests hopefully show up here, hopefully soon, and we'll see what his thoughts are. What's next? Anyone watch LeBron James? I'm not a LeBron James fan, but last night he definitely took over the Olympics last night in that fourth quarter. He definitely saved the U.S. from losing to Germany.
And South Sudan.
That would have been wild. In a bad way.
I mean,
okay, can I go out on a limb on this? They're not going undefeated in the Olympics.
Can I rebut on your limb, Rich?
Sure.
If you don't mind.
Sure.
were you thinking that in 2021 when they lost to France and during the COVID year, and then they still ended up winning gold with Popovich? Because nobody thought that team was, when they lost to France, was gonna win the gold, and they still did.
I thought they would lose a game. And this is what I'm saying. They're going to lose a game. I'm not saying they're not going to win the gold. I'm saying that they're going to lose a game simply because there are so many countries now that have got really strong basketball programs that weren't there 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know, if the dream team with Jordan and Malone and all those guys teleport them to now, the competition would be a hell of a lot better, and they wouldn't have boat raced everybody they played. This team, it's a good team. I'm not saying anything against that, but I think their competition has come to even things out a little bit with them. I think they lose a game throughout the course of the Olympics. I don't know to who, but I think they lose a game in the course of the Olympics.
Unfortunately, it's a lose-lose situation for the U.S. Because, you know, they're supposed to win this, and if they don't, it's a complete failure. And if they do, it's like, oh, yawn, the U.S. won again. So really, it's a lose-lose proposition, in my opinion. They will lose, but they can win this thing at will. It just depends on whether they want to turn it up a notch or not. I do agree with the comment there, though, that the competition is a lot stronger than it's ever been. I still think, again, this team, if it really wants to, can will itself to win, even if they lose in the beginning. But unfortunately, like I said, lose because, you know, you win, you're supposed to. You lose, it's a failure.
You're right.
Ray, I have a question for you. Being in North Carolina, is there still heavy talks of the Bats coming to the Major League, coming to Charlotte?
I just think because they do have really good turnout for the AAA team, the Charlotte Knights. So there could be, but I think North Carolina in general is so bad at all the Major League sports. I mean, Panthers have been terrible. Hornets have been bad for years. I guess the MLS team's decent, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be good for the good for the city, but I haven't. I just been hearing how everybody hates Tepper and they wish they could fire the owner, but I just don't want them to relocate the Panthers anywhere. That's my fear.
Well, he'll probably fire himself, right?
Yeah.
Because
I think wasn't Charlotte listed as one of the leading candidates to get a major league team? I still think they're pretty high on the list. Whether or not it happens or not, I don't know. But from what I heard, I guess they're pretty high on the list.
I had the Charlotte Bats main sponsor on the show a while ago, and I haven't talked to him, man, so that's why I was wondering if it picked up any steam or not.
I haven't really heard anything, but that'd be kind of cool. It'd be interesting to see where they put the park at if they did it.
The last I heard, the two front runners were Portland and Charlotte.
Portland, Maine, or Portland, Oregon?
Portland, Oregon.
I got whooped by Oregon in fucking college football a little bit ago. Is anyone playing NCAA? Anyone got it?
I just got it.
I don't have time.
Yeah, I haven't played a video game in years.
Jamie, you got it?
I do.
You good? You kicking ass?
No, I got to learn how to play it again.
Yeah, me too. I just started playing online. I know, Trey. I wasn't the Bulldogs. I was the Hurricanes.
About to say, how's Georgia on there?
You mean you didn't take directional beefsteak tech to the national championship?
Someone did play me with the Georgia State Blue Jet or Jayhawks?
Georgia State, the Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers.
Oh, they're blue. Is that what color they are, Trey?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the 12-team playoff format, they could make it because you have to have at least one group of 5 conference champion in the field that makes that.
Trey, what do you think of the new playoff format? You're a college guy. What do you think?
Yeah, I really like it because it's good for Georgia. I think it's going to make the conference championships, or at least for like SEC championships, less relevant. Because to me, it's not a sprint this year. It's a marathon. So even if, let's say, Georgia goes 10-2 because they've got a brutal schedule, and just skip the SEC championship game and save some of their endurance and players and everything, I wouldn't mind it. Because it's like, hey, if you win the SEC championship game, all right, now you got to go to the playoffs. Could be banged up. You never know. You might play that game, get a top running back hurt or quarterback banged up or a key injury. So, yeah, I like it. It's going to be good.
Jamie, you're on the floor.
I can't hear you guys. Hold on.
JJ McCarthy's about to say JJ McCarthy's the man.
I think it said HJJ McCarthy. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it said he hates. Don't tell John or Jason that they love JJ McCarthy.
Jamie, bring him in. Bring him in with a cue.
As long as he's not a Buckeyes fan.
What was that about?
He's a Cleveland dude through and through. What's up, Evan? Haven't seen you, man. How's it going?
I'm doing good, guys. I'm glad to be back. But what was that
Long
comment
time
about the Buckeyes?
You're back with Chris Berman Jr., your boy right here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Chris Berman Jr. I can't wait to get another episode together. So I'll be back almost full time with this. So I'm
that
glad
means we'll have
be
to do
back.
season 2 of the UFL since we couldn't do season 1.
Absolutely. I want to do the UFL. I want to get the basketball show we had back together. I want to do a lot of stuff. But
So, Evan, this is Trey. He does our Georgia Bulldogs. He's our college guy.
okay. Nice to meet you.
Evan's a big Ohio State fan, just to let you know.
I'm a college football fan, but I rock with Ohio State.
John is there. He's a big Florida guy.
Who? Wait.
John, whenever he's on another show right now.
All right, I got some smoke for him.
Evan, that's Dylan up in the corner.
What's up, Dylan?
Long time no see there, Evan. How you doing?
Good. How about you, Joe?
Excellent.
And this is Rich right below me.
What's up, Rich?
Evan, good to meet you, man.
Likewise.
Evan's our Cleveland guy. Mainly does Browns and Cavs. He doesn't know much about the baseball world, but they're on kind of a slump right now.
I know. I've been trying to get into it, but they're in a bit of a slump. Hopefully that they can make some trades here with the deadline coming up. I think it's in about a week, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Hey, they won me a bet tonight. If you're talking about the Guardians,
I do like them. I did like their City connectors with the CLE across the front.
Yes, their City Connection jerseys are amazing. Probably one of the better jerseys in Cleveland right now.
No, man, I like my Pittsburgh jersey behind me.
Hey, Dylan,
Hey, can
the
I throw-
Marlins are beating the Orioles.
So you brought up the City Connects, Adam. Okay, since we got everybody here, I got a 3-way question for you guys. When you look at your uniforms across the league, do you prefer the retro classic uniform, the alternate uniform, or the City Connect?
Throwback.
If we're talking about Cleveland, I have to ask, which throwback are we talking about?
Across the sport, across baseball.
Man, where's my Bobber jersey? Who is
So-
this one?
So for me,
I got the 71 Indians jersey, the red and blue. I like that one a lot.
I'd have to go retro just because of the movie that they had with that jersey. It rocks. So I'll have to go with that one as far as those jerseys go.
I'm old fashioned. I like just the white pinstripes for the Mets at home and the grays on the road. I don't like the 10,000 uniforms that the teams have. I like just the white at home, gray on the road.
See, Joe, I like the jersey of the Mets behind you, just not with the orange. I like the orange Mets going across the front, and then the all blue jersey.
The
I like
darker, yeah, maybe every once in a while with those, because they've been wearing those for a long time as well. But like I said, in general, I like the old-fashioned white at home, colors on the road.
Trey, have you seen your Atlanta jersey? What do you think? I know you're.
Yeah, I'm more of a traditional. Some of the ones I have the modern day, I'm not a big fan of. I do like when they go black and red at home. The all blacks, okay, sometimes, but I like the red and black because I'm more a Georgia fan. I kind of like that combo.
Dylan, which team we going with to talk about here?
To be honest with you, it's looking to the Florida teams. I mean, not sure why the Miami Marlins didn't take the Florida Marlin uniform, because they could wear those. I mean, maybe not the teal helmets back in the day.
I like the teal and I like that teal and black.
I did too.
Yeah.
There he is, the hype man.
You got a new name, John. Hype man.
You look pretty good for going 59-52, man.
Yeah.
What's up, gents? How we doing?
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
What?
59 and 52.
Oh, we're gonna have some.
What?
Jay, we're gonna have some fun, buddy.
John, you might want to tell Evan here what's up a little bit. Did you see his thing? It says he hates JJ McCarthy because he's a Buckeyes fan, but I told him that you love McCarthy.
No, I don't love McCarthy. I just hate Caleb Williams. Listen, don't get it twisted. Listen, I was just on another show with two gents from Green Bay, and they were sitting here saying the same thing. The poor Chicago Bears. A Packers fan saying poor Chicago Bears for the fact they drafted Caleb Williams. I'm telling you, no matter where I go, whatever show it is, it's like everybody hates Chris. Everybody hates Caleb. I'm telling you. Packers fans feel bad for Chicago Bears fans.
John, just to let you know, this is our Georgia guy right next to you.
What's going on? What's going on, baby?
Hey, what's up? Hey, real quick question. Sorry, John. Do we see Roman Reigns at SummerSlam?
100%.
Is he going to come out with the? I want him to come out with the Shield music again, babyface.
No, I think he's going to come out, whether it costs Solo the match or not. Comes out. I think he joins alliances with Cody Rhodes, and that brings us into the War Games down Survivor Series.
I'm just there for the whole Liv Morgan, Dirty Dom.
Jesus! This guy.
Mommy,
You just want someone to lick your face, Jamie. Calm down, man.
I can picture it.
She's adorable, Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan, yeah. Too bad she can't wrestle. Someone else had a question?
I can picture at the end, man. I can picture it.
You see
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and he brings Roman out, and here it goes.
Oh, yeah.
I think Roman does. I think Roman does it because of the whole your actions have consequences. The way how Solo came in and gave the spike for Roman. I think Cody does something kind of the same setup. You see Roman come out, do something to Solo, cost him the match, and then we go forward with that. I'm here for it, man. Paul was not wrong. The bloodline right now is probably in the 5th inning, maybe top of the 6th. But there's some juice to this story for a while. That's not even The Rock coming back from Mania against Cody. Oh.
It's Wolfpack. This is Bloodline Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The colors are even, if you really think about it.
No, you're not far off. There's someone literally saying, I mean, well, look who you have in control. You got Sean and Paul. Like, hey, I got an idea. Let's do something real quick. And it works.
Evan, you got something?
Nope.
I feel a lot of blood here. You know, we got a Gator guy, we got a dog, and then we got an Ohio State guy.
Well, if we're being honest about it, only 2 of us are contenders.
Oh, okay. All right.
We got a Florida guy. Sorry. Hey, so Billy Napier, does he make it to the Florida State game? Dead man walking. I'm calling it.
I don't.
Come on, man.
We'll see how they play the first couple. I don't know, man.
You know
I had
what?
a lot of hopes on that man's shoulders, and I was like last year. I was like, oh,
you know what? I'll tell you.
I like the guy. He's a Saban Kirby Smart disciple, and I love that game plan he ran against Tennessee when they beat him. You just run it with Etienne, kind of like he played the old school Alabama offense when they had Greg McElroy.
Hey, so John, real quick, I'm actually about to do my podcast posted on the thumbnail. SEC coaches on the hot seat. I got Billy Napier to the left. In the middle, I got Sam Pittman. To the far right, Shane Beamer. That's my three.
You're not far off, man. I'm telling
Wow.
you. You're not far
Shane
off.
Beamer, I'm surprised. I actually like Shane Beamer, though.
Yeah, but he's coming off 5-7. Got some transfer quarterback. He's been saying a lot of weird things. He's whining, losing recruits.
And
He's
Napier,
only 20-18 since he's been there.
I mean, this comes the question again. How does this impact? Like I said, how does the new playoff format impact these coaches that are on the hot seat? Because when it was 4 teams, it seems like they really didn't have anything to play for. But now they got more to play for with an expanded.
Well, if you're still pumping out losing records, I mean, you can't. That's not going to get you in either.
I was
But
about to say,
you're not
South
wrong
Carolina's
though. It's definitely
South Carolina's not sniffing the playoffs.
What?
South
Trey,
Carolina.
I'm really
What were you
surprised you
saying,
didn't.
John?
Go ahead, John.
We need the hand emoji. It's like teams. You need to put the hand up.
Yeah, we do.
Because I think there's a
Trey,
lot more to play for.
No,
now.
Napier came out hot, and Florida had a lot of great hope. A lot of people saw They saw the championship. They were seeing playoff run, and dude, and even like you just said, too, last year he came out acting very weird at the end of the year. Not how he came in, going out a lot weirder than he came in. I'm like, this guy,
It's a little weird.
I think
What Billy Napier's great at though is recruiting 400-pound defensive tackles because they had some freaking.
I mean,
they had some freaking dogs on their defensive line though. Florida.
he definitely gets people to the school. I'll tell you that, but you just got to execute it.
Trey, I'm kind of surprised you didn't have Brian Kelly at LSU on your list.
He has another. Yeah. If he has
Top
another
five.
bad,
Top 5. We need one more. Top 5.
yeah,
I mean, 8-5 is not acceptable at Baton Rouge. I mean, come on.
I agree.
No word of a lie. No.
Yeah, a number 3 top Jalen Daniels in a garbage. He's got to figure out that defense. If not,
Yeah.
Like I said, if it was still a 4-team, it would be playoff. It'd be easy to predict that, but like I said, now it's harder to predict with a 12-team. I know I sound like a broken record, but still.
I've got a bold prediction for this college football season. Top 4
Yeah.
teams:
yeah, they go.
Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas.
That's not really that far. Really that far.
That's kind of close, actually.
By the way,
I want to argue about that, actually.
USC will beat LSU in Vegas Labor Day weekend.
Who's their quarterback now without Caleb? Who is that?
Better than LSU's quarterback.
Hey, here's my bowl. I'll make a bold prediction. You can say, hey, remember it. Alabama goes 9-3, doesn't sniff the SEC championship game, and goes to the Outback Bowl, something like that. I think Caleb Moore's gonna be a bust.
Hey, you know what, Troy? Get this: when Alabama beats your sorry Bulldogs in Tuscaloosa this year,
wow.
you're gonna be licking your paws.
Yeah, but Dylan, remember Nick Saban isn't coaching the team anymore.
Nick Saban's going to be game day.
I think Kirby Smart can handle Kalen DeBoer a lot more.
Yeah, plus they got that one circled after last year. Beat us in the SEC championship. They're salty.
So what? You guys haven't been Alabama since the Truman administration.
Dylan, the
We beat him in 2021.
national championship
We won
game.
the
Beat him a
national
couple years
title.
ago.
Yeah,
I
when
love Tuesday
Alabama
nights.
lost its whole receiver corps.
Hey, we can't help injuries.
Yeah, if you
Well,
guys are
yeah.
talking college football, though, there's going to be a lot less controversy, thank God. I mean, Florida State getting screwed out of the top 4 last year was the all-time worst, I think.
But
So
that's
you're
why
gonna
you
have a
have a
lot less
12
of that.
team, though, Joe, is to prevent that.
But
Exactly.
Less controversy.
Number one reason I love this new format here in college football.
I think they should have done. I hate to tell you, I think Alabama actually benefited from a 14 playoff because they never really had any other competition to play. I wonder I wonder what if Saban was still coaching Alabama and they had a 12-team playoff. I wonder how Alabama would actually do because you got more competition in the playoff. Now it's like what you said, Trey. Like Georgia could be good, but they'll get tested in the playoffs with Kirby Smart because there's more teams now.
What I want to see happen is the 11 or 12 seed win their first game, get the 1 or 2 and beat them. And then see what happens because the whole NCAA and all the fans are going to go absolutely bananas. And they're going to say, well, we need to go back to 4 games. We got to go back because Georgia State beat Alabama or, North Texas beat Georgia or something like that.
Well, sorry, those teams deserve a chance too. It's equal opportunity.
I agree.
A piece of the pie.
I agree, but I think it's going to be chaos.
Hold on.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
What's up, man?
What's equal opportunity when you have a Liberty, a North Texas, a Georgia State, one of these schools that get there in the 12th seed and they face an Ohio State, they face an Oregon, they face a Georgia.
Because they would have never had that before if it was just a 4 team.
Right,
That's
but just
why.
2 years ago, these teams were taking payments to come play these type of schools. So what's the fair play? Yeah, you won your conference. Yeah, we're tired of hearing you cry, but guess what? Now you're just getting paid to play in an easy playoff game that you have no chance in.
It's exposure. It's national.
Who
TV
says there's no
program
chance?
Exposure.
Me,
what it
I'm
is.
telling you, there is no chance.
Back the bus up. Who says there's no chance?
Me, absolutely. There's no chance. You're telling.
You ever heard of Boise State?
You're telling me.
You ever heard of Appalachian State?
Yes, but again, you're talking. You're talking about week 1, and that's all the teams got versus week 16. Week
Boise State.
Playing in a playoff game when they got to deal with injuries and at school where they got bigger, stronger, faster players.
If you're taking what you're saying and implementing it across the board, then any team that's not in a Power 5 conference should be out of Division 1.
No, I don't. I'm not saying that.
If you're a Division 1 team, you should have every right. And I've said this from the AP. If you're in a Division 1 team and you're undefeated, or if you earn that spot, that's why I griped about TCU should have been in the championship run. Tulane should have been in the championship run. Because if you're an undefeated Division 1 team, you should have every right, just like an SEC or a Big 12 or an ACC team, to play for that national championship.
I agree.
If you're in the NFL and you finish under 500 and win your division, you still have every right to go to the playoffs and have a chance at the Super Bowl, right?
Right. Now, look, I agree with what
the NCAA tournament where the 60 upsets happen, where you get a Valparaiso beating Ole Miss on a game-winning shot.
I agree with the premise of what you're saying, but Old Dominion is a Division I school. Toledo is a Division I school,
and they're not bad programs, though.
I'm not saying they're bad programs, but what I'm saying is they don't have a DeJuan Jones. Yes, I know he's in the NFL, but they don't have a DeJuan Jones. Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan. These teams do. And you're sitting here telling me that these teams who have bottom end D1 talent and maybe a guy who got in trouble at a school transferring. Yeah, I for the first few years of the college playoff, I don't see it. Now, once NIL really makes a difference and the exposure happens, and now we're seeing a DJ Lagway who doesn't get a lot of playing time at Florida State transfer to North Texas, and then they get a top receiver from Ohio State, and they get a couple defensive linemen. Okay, cool. I can see that. But right now we're talking about North Texas winning the Sun Belt and going up against Georgia. You really think that's going to happen? You really think there's a chance?
There's always a chance.
It could. I mean, think of the NBA playoffs.
I'm not saying it would, but there's always a chance.
You know, you get the NBA playoffs where 95% of the time an 8 seed or a play-in team loses and gets swept in the first round. it would be the same here. I think most of the time Georgia beats, Texas State or whoever 55-7.
Or Joe, you
But
get a
there is that
I'll let you
exception
finish now. Sorry.
where an 8 seed
Yeah.
Miami Heat, for example, goes to the finals.
I was just
You
gonna
will
say
see
that.
an exception at some point. Again, I think 95% of the time the higher seed wins, but you're going to get a 12 seed that makes a big upset or at least comes close to that. Again, will it happen often? Absolutely not, but it could.
It's good for the sport because that's how every other sport playoff was in college football. The BCS wasn't good either, so that's why college football was the only one that didn't really figure it out on how to make a playoff like every other sport. So they said let's go to the BCS. Didn't work because Boise State wasn't in a BCS conference, even though they did win with the Statue of Liberty that one year. So then they said, let's go to a playoff, right? They make it 4. They start out with 4. What happens with 4? Alabama's dominating. So let's make it 12 where it feels more like a pro playoff or any other sport.
Yeah, they should have done this 30 years ago.
It's still going to boil down to one very important thing, though. You've got your division, your conference champions, who at this point are all going to be in. Your Big 12 champion will get in. Your ACC champion, your SEC champion, they're guaranteed to get in. Those other spots, though, it still comes down to this committee that you've got to see what they're going to be doing too. And that's part of where I think my problem is too, because you're going to have a team. Let's, for argument's sake, say Alabama goes 9-3. Okay. But you have a 10-1 Florida State. And because of whatever reason, you get Alabama gets put in at 9-3 instead of the Florida State 10-1. Because the committee thinks Alabama is going to be, and we know this is what it was, what would be a better draw than having Florida State.
But I agree with the standpoint of a better draw and their whole thought process. You're right about that. But who's in the ACC besides Clemson that you expect to have a great year?
They're all saying Syracuse now with Fran Brown as head coach. They're saying Syracuse could be a sleeper to make it now with him as coach. You see the way he's recruiting now?
Right. But my question is it a bad loss? Did Alabama lose to Georgia, who's undefeated? Did they lose to Auburn on a late play? Did they lose to LSU on a field goal and right before forcing overtime? And Florida State just happened to, lose to a prep game. They didn't bring their stuff and they lost to a prep game, like Michigan lost to Appalachian State. Which would you pick? Would you pick a team who they beat a conference that we're not too excited about, or a team who was in every single game and lost 3 late? Who are you going to pick?
They lost 3, but they lost 3. Losses are losses. I don't care if you lose to Alabama or Alabama State. It's still a loss.
How many teams have we seen go undefeated and then get destroyed when they face somebody else? That they're not
many. Not many.
We're
competitive.
We're definitely going to have the conversation. And to be honest, with the very, very first college playoff, do you think they're going to leave out the ones who won the original playoff if they're 1 or 2 losses?
And I'm going to use Trey's example. If Alabama goes 9-3, depending how everything else plays out, if they do get in, they should be 11 or a 12. But you're going to see an Alabama or a Georgia or a Michigan or an Ohio State or somebody like that have a 9-3, 8-4 record, get into the playoffs and be a 4 seed or a 6 seed.
Well, they can't be a 4 seed because the top 4 seeds are all the conference champions.
Okay, let's say a 6 seed then.
I'm fine with that.
I'm not.
Why?
At 8-4 or 9-3, you're going to honestly tell me there's not better teams than that?
There might be, but again, we're going into this is the first year where you have the Big 12. Half of it is in the SEC. The Pac-12 is now their
Half
powerhouse.
of it's not in the ACC. You lost Texas. We
No,
lost Texas
no.
and Oklahoma. That's it.
Yeah, but then you have Ohio State. You have the Big 10 with now having
Oregon,
Oregon State.
Yeah.
Oregon, USC, UCLA.
Right. You have all of these new contenders. These are new. These are the
Sure.
This is the new way, the new powerhouse. Do you really think you're going to have one or two teams in every conference that are still going to be 11-1, 12-0?
You might not, because
No.
when you make super conferences like that, like I said, USC or UCLA could get in, because if they're 8-4, but they said, oh, because they play Big Ten, and they're still a brand name because they were in the Pac-12, but they've had good tradition. So yeah, that could happen.
So because here's my question: the problem is a 3 or 4 win loss team. So let's take the Big Ten. Let's say USC and Oregon have 1 loss. Ohio State has 2 losses. Michigan, let's say Alex Orji gets hurt in the beginning of the year. They lose 3 out of 5, and then he comes back. They go undefeated. They're destroying teams, and their victory margin is by 21 points, and they find a way to win their side of the conference and go play in the conference championship, and that's their 4th loss. Do they not deserve to be there?
In the 12?
Yeah,
I'm not saying they don't deserve to be in the 12.
but they have.
Do they
4
deserve
losses.
to be a 6? No, they have 3 losses from what you're saying.
No,
Or
yeah,
they
I'm
lose
saying
in
they
the
have 3
championship
losses.
game?
They lost 3 games early, and then they lose the championship game because they won the rest
Okay.
of their division.
Then they're on the bubble. Yeah.
Yeah, Evan, I think you're right in the fact that the NCAA is going to put that 3 or 4 loss team as like a 5 or a 6. I don't think they should. The one great thing about college football is the regular season has always meant so much. And I think the only negative of this playoff system is it's going to dilute the regular season a little bit, because it's almost like with the attitude, like if a team even had 1 or 2 losses, their season was destroyed in the past. Now you could have 3 or 4 losses and still get rewarded with a 5 seed or a 6. Again, I think the NCAA will do that, but I disagree with that. I think if you lose 3 or 4 teams and you get in the top 12, you're still starting from the back, and you got to play the tough teams, up front. That's how I think it should be. But I think it's, knowing the NCAA the way they do things, I'm not so sure it'll work that way.
And Joe, I agree with you. That's the problem that I'm talking about. And Joe and Evan, this is where I'm going with this. We're talking about all these peripheral factors. How many games they won by? Who did they beat, or who did they lose to when the quarterback was hurt, and who did they lose? It's wins and losses. Period. End of story. If you're 8-4, you're probably on the bubble. I don't care if you won 8 in a row to end the season. You're on the bubble. You lost 4 freaking games. If you're, Tennessee and you go 9-3, okay, great. And Alabama's 8-4. Guess what? At the absolute worst, Tennessee's ahead of Alabama. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care who they played. Tennessee had 9 wins. Alabama's got 8. Tennessee's ahead. Wins and losses is what matters. All this extra peripheral, will you beat this team by this many, or the team the win and loss percentage, is strength of schedule? That's all a bunch of garbage. You win or you lose. Plain and simple.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree with
Great. You probably listened to this whole thing. What are your thoughts on everything going on here?
Sorry, what was the question again? Sorry, I went and got some food real quick. Sorry.
Oh,
So we've been having an argument about the college football playoff, where the first part of the argument is that a Georgia State, Old Dominion, a Sun Belt winner, a Midwest Conference winner, wins their conference, and they get in. do they really have a chance against an Ohio State, Oregon, or Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, one of those style of schools? And then it became does if Georgia or Ohio State or Michigan, if they lose 4 games, but they lost 4 games because they're starting 2 quarterbacks are out. But then once one of them comes back and they run the table, or they have 1 loss all year, and that happens to be the conference championship, do they not deserve one of those lower seeds over a smaller school who has a better record?
I think it might come to strength of schedule. I'm
And
probably
that's what I'm saying.
I'm probably a little more SEC biased, but
And see, that's where my argument is. It's wins and losses. I'm saying it shouldn't strength of schedule, margin of victory, all that stuff. To me, shouldn't matter. If Georgia goes 8-4 or Alabama goes 8-4 or whatever, they're below everybody else that's 9-3, 10-2, 11-1.
So you don't think ratings matter either, Rich, right? Because that's what it's going to be about. It's ratings too.
yeah,
Rankings are ratings.
The rating
TV
system
ratings
is
I'm
one
talking
that
about.
TV ratings. Okay,
To make it very
I mean,
simplistic, what Evan's saying, I totally understand where his point's coming from. I agree with that, but I think
I do too.
the question is really the NCAA is doing everything they can to become more of an NFL feeder and get these kids ready and get these guys ready to get into that format, right?
Yeah.
So why are we doing this when we talk about so-and-so played this week? They lost by 77 points. The NFL doesn't give a damn about any of that. You lose by 1, you lose by 30, it's still a W. That's how you put your
Exactly.
statements. So to Evan's point, what we just asked, what's the question? Should the NCAA, they can have their rankings, the top 4, just like everyone else does, just like you have the top 7 NFL. You won your conference, you're in. But should it matter the number 1 ranking being the number 10 by 77 points, or only winning by 3 points? Should all that matter, or should it really just come down to the wins and the losses?
It should matter. And the reason it should matter is because last year's argument was why Florida State didn't get in, and they had 1 loss. And all of their entire offense, who had been doing great the entire year, got hurt at the end of the year. And then you put somebody in who doesn't deserve it.
And Alabama, and that team ended up losing to Michigan in the semifinal. It was Alabama.
Right. So was that an enjoyable game to watch? So you want to put in a school that, because they won games and because they're okay, they had an okay year, they deserve to go up against a powerhouse that you're not going to watch?
Using that logic, and I'll use the Steelers for the example on this. The Steelers make the playoffs with, and I'm going to go back a few years. I'm going to put a legit quarterback in here. You make the playoffs with Roethlisberger. Week 15, Roethlisberger gets hurt, and you got to put Tommy Maddox out there, who is an absolute waste of prime natural resources. Do you not let the Steelers into the playoffs because Tommy Maddox is there instead of Ben?
Rich, why aren't you asking me that? I'm a Bills fan. I know about that game.
Well, but I'm putting that pick. That's the analogy.
But those are 2 different leagues. There's 2 different formats, and that's
I'm going to say is a Bills fan should have never lost to the Steelers backups. But go ahead, Evan.
Evan, that's what I was asking. I said, do we want something where you have the NCAA still have people ranking on the things you're talking about, and we're all discussing, or do we want it that different to the NFL, or do we want one system of the same?
If we have, I want it to be where teams are ranked, where schedule matters. So we're not scheduling cupcakes until we get to our division, and then we win our division because we know we're recruiting the best. Because at that point, NIL and everything else that they're trying to do to level the playing field doesn't matter.
Yep.
Right. That's why Alabama in 2018 was doing so well too, because all the SEC schools were scheduling these cupcake games, and that's how Alabama actually ended up losing in 2018 to Clemson.
You're required to play a certain number of conference games anyway.
Right.
You're required by the
we know
NCAA to play
that.
a certain number of conference games.
I don't
So
like
it's
watching
ju-
those
it-
Custom
you
games
can-
because it's 55-0 and half the stadium's empty by the third quarter.
But you can do the exact same thing the NFL does. That's basically what they're working on right now. It's just that you have to eliminate the subjectivity of this thing. You're trying to play both ends of the candle at the same time. You can either have one or the other.
But here's the problem. The reason they created this is they wanted diversity. They wanted to stop having the argument about other teams that deserved it, like a Boise State when they won on the Statue of Liberty, or those other teams who had one loss, like a Ohio State who happened to lose to Michigan one year, and then guess what? We got the same SEC championship in the BCS championship game. If you go to an NFL schedule, the only way that works, or standing setup, the only way that works is everybody plays everybody.
Mhm.
And so
You don't do that in the NFL.
Right. But the thing is, we're talking about the Power Fives. The reason there's a 12 is so that everybody else has a chance. If we go to
Just
that
like
schedule,
the NFL, to John's point.
so then you're saying make one super division and everybody else just plays the rest of the bowl games.
No.
So how would it work?
I think if I can speak for what Rich is saying, he's saying, like, you're right what you're saying. But if we're going to go off of straight this, make rules. I think the issue with a lot of people is this committee, right? That goes up, make it the strength of schedule, make it other things that where we set these standards of what we go off to put people in their rankings after the top 4 and 5. That's, I think, what everyone else. I think that's what Rich is trying to say. I don't know if Jamie's touching on it. I agree with what you're saying. I think everyone should get a shot, and that's why they make this. I agree, but I think we need the subjectivity of me going. I think Iowa got this one. Take the human element out of it. Let's have standards of strength of schedule, the win percentages, the win, like that kind of stuff. And let's make it kind of a standardized kind of thing where you check these boxes, good, then you go over this person because you did X, Y, and Z.
And I think that's going to be a little easier to do too, because this is not a knock against the SEC, but in the past, the SEC maybe had a little bit more precedence because it was the stronger conference. With these super conferences now, every conference, the major ones anyway, are pretty much just as strong. You got the SEC, Big 12, Big 10 or Big
12. Oh, Joe, I actually have Joe.
But it's like, seriously, I think the strength of schedule is going to even itself out just because all these teams in the big conferences are going to have very difficult schedules, especially
the
with
Big 12 is only going to get stronger next year because Clemson and Florida State are joining it next year. They're leaving the ACC.
So I have a question.
How many? Look at it this way: how many conferences do we have in Division 1?
Okay, so wait,
7,
hold on,
right?
Hold on. Okay, the top 5 conferences.
4 now because the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore.
So how do we determine 1 through 4? Because one conference is going to be left out and going to have to play in that first week of playoffs, while the other 4 don't. How are they going to determine this if the records are tied?
If all 5 are tied?
Yes. What if they all finish? What if they all finish undefeated? What if we have it?
Whoa.
Strength of schedule.
Exactly. Strength of schedule. Win percentage, win points.
No. Right. The win percentage of the teams that they played against. If all 5 teams are 11-1, you take because obviously nobody is going to have the same common opponent. You're not going to have all 5 teams with the same common opponents at that point. So your next thing is you go with the winning percentage, the winning percentage of the teams that they beat. And that's your top 4 seeds, and your 5th seed goes down to the 5. And they're that first team in there.
To Rich's point, where the NCAA is that close as the NFL, what does the NFL do in the case of a tie? Percentages, equal opponents, strength of like that. That's how they break it down. And I think the NCAA does that. And you take the human element out of this, you have yourself an amazing playoff structure. But just I think
Right,
the
but
human
it-
element has always been a
that's-
sticking point for a lot of people.
Conferences.
If you took the top 5 and those are your
Right.
conference champions,
That's not my question. Like, I guess it is kind of, but my main question is, how do they figure out
Yeah.
who is going to be that fifth, and how do they figure out what power conferences are there?
No, the fifth gets dropped out if you don't meet the credentials of the 1 through 4, and you get dropped down into the rest of the pool, and then you're at the mercy of having to fit past the standards and checking the boxes that all the other teams have to.
So,
No,
so
it
wait,
says
wait,
top
wait,
five,
wait,
so
hold
the
on, hold on.
top 5 power conferences automatically make it.
right?
That is 1 through 5 there, and then 7 through 12 is the rest of the rankings.
So
5 power conference champions are automatically in.
Yes.
You go by record. The top 4 seeds are the 4 best
You
records.
can't
If they're
do
all
that.
tied,
you can't
Why
do
not?
that in college because the Sun Belt is the worst division in college football.
the NFC
Wait,
West
Tech-
is
wait,
the
wait,
worst
wait.
division.
There's a wait,
James
stop.
Madison, I
They're
mean-
the worst division in college football. If Texas State goes undefeated and they played scrubs all year, and they're undefeated, why did they deserve a chance over the team that lost one game in the conference championship?
Okay, again, is the Sun Belt Conference in Division 1?
Okay, hold.
You
here's the
play
first
who you're scheduled to play. It's not Texas
says-
State's fault that their
Well-
conference is a bunch of teams that aren't Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and Michigan. It ain't their
I got an idea.
fault.
Relegation
Wait,
system
wait,
or
wait,
relegate yourself.
Okay. So
Go ahead,
I'm just
Adam.
curious, because it says the 5 power conferences win.
Right.
Does it end at the regular season, or does it go into that playoff game?
It stops at the conference championship. The ones who win their conference championships are in. Then it goes to the teams who are left, which would be anybody who lost in the conference championship, didn't make the conference championship, but are in the AP top 12. Top 15, let's be honest, because 2 of those teams are going to get left out.
So just as in the NFL, when you play your division, certain teams, Evan, would you think that maybe no matter where you are, SEC, wherever you are, do you start getting branched out and scheduled with other teams that, like you're saying, you would never, or cupcake teams and having like bums? Do you start scheduling them out to other teams that maybe they would not play like normally where they are, or start branching them out around other conferences? So you don't have so less of an argument with that, where they're not playing the scrubs, but they're playing other, like not elite, but other teams up to that level.
That's what I was trying to get at before. That if we're gonna go to that, we have to change the conferences again, which means Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, those schools have to play each other. They have to play Texas. They have to play all the other contenders every year. There is no more SEC, Big Ten. It is no more that. It's one group. It has to be. And that means that, yeah, we have to push everybody else away until they can compete. Because I promise you, you're not going to watch Georgia play Texas State. You're not going to watch Ohio State play UNLV because they won their conference.
Nah, man. That game's
because
good
they won
for
their
20 minutes.
conference and didn't play anybody. You're telling me you're going to sit there and enjoy that game, and that that's what they're going to think about. That are you really going to enjoy that game? Because yes, they won their conference, but they didn't play nobody. They don't have any type of size to play with these guys. So we're going to sit here and argue that Texas State or Georgia State or UNLV went undefeated and then complain that it was a boring game because they lost by 70 in the first half.
I'm down for
Well,
real.
I just think if a
70
team
in the
goes
first half.
undefeated, they deserve that chance. And if they lose 70-0, then oh well. But I think they deserve that chance. anyway.
If you're and this has always been my argument. If you're a Division I team, I don't care if you are Alabama or if you are Texas State, you should have the exact same right and ability to win the national championship as everybody else.
Do you know what a school has to do to qualify as a Division I school?
Yeah,
Does
there's a number of
anybody
things
know?
they have to do.
Does anybody know
There's
what
a
they
number
have
of things
to
they
do?
have to do.
The number one qualification for a school to be a Division I school is the size of the university itself, meaning that how many students they have.
Mm-hmm.
What does that have to do with recruiting D1 talent when you know you can't get it? You're at the bottom of the barrel.
But to make Evan's point, like we just talked about a couple minutes ago, and what you just said, how they deserve that shot being undefeated. If we do a realignment of the divisions and do some things where other people are playing other people, they wouldn't usually do that. When they go undefeated, when they run the gauntlet, they've played teams that are, call it what you want, scrub, cupcake, cake, whatever, tomato can, whatever you want to call it. They've played teams worthy, but damn, they beat them. Okay, 12-0, that's a legitimate 12-0. They can have that spot. So I agree. That's one thing I do agree with Evan. If you do an alignment, they're playing teams that are, I guess, quote, left for a better word, legit. Then you can look at 12-0, go, that's an earned 12-0, not a I beat the Wisconsin Community High School, college down the road, that kind of thing. So you redo alignment, everyone's playing a stronger team, just like in the NFL. You look whoever your favorite team is, whoever you are here, you look, you go, lost. You're going to do that everywhere, but you go, that's going to be a hell of a game. That's going to be a hell of a game. I think that's what we need in college football.
Do you think college football would ever realign? I don't think they'll ever change the conferences and make a power group. Do you think they would ever do that?
NCAA right now is ever evolving, man. A lot of things are happening. People are absorbing the other conferences. Who knows what things are going to look like? And again, the NCAA is the feeder to the biggest powerhouse sport in our country any time of the year. It makes sense to do that. Again, you want these players to understand, like, not saying that it changes the player mentality or changes anyone's, like, how you play the game, but know that, like, you're not going to go in and run 12-0 and play. Like, you got, every game is going to count, and that's what you want in college, and that's what you want when you're in the NFL. So I think at the end of the day, you get some of the old heads out of there. No offense to anyone that runs it. No offense to anyone but you get a younger kind of a younger control team in there. They're going to look at this and say the same things the six of us are saying. Mm-hmm. There needs to be a change where it makes more sense. And at the end of the day, that's going to bring more viewers especially just launching the new college football game back out after a hiatus. College football, I live up here in the Northeast, and Jamie could probably attest this a little bit. Nobody gives a shit about college football in Massachusetts. The draft comes, I hear Pats fans. They're like, "Oh, this guy got traded." Who? They don't know unless you're below. It's just the God's honest truth. I watch it. I went to college. I played there. I played in college. I watch it. I care about it. But unless you're in the bottom half or in certain pockets in the country, people don't give a shit. You make it more.
New York likes college football. I mean, you got Syracuse and UB. So
yeah. So you make the game. You make their games count. You make their schedule a little bit better. Where you're bringing bigger powerhouses into their stadiums. It helps them out. They sell more tickets. Fox is picking it up. All these other guys are picking it up. I think so. So I say all that to put it up with a bow. I think probably next 5 to 8 years, you do see a change where they do some kind of realignment and make it make sense scheduling wise of who plays who.
Okay.
By the way, Evan, I did double check this. I thought I was right, but I wanted to double check it. The biggest determination of what makes a Division I school is that it must sponsor 7 men's and 7 women's sports at a minimum, or 6 men's and 8 women's sports. It's not based on the population of the university. It's based on the number of athletic programs it can sponsor.
Okay. Well, I was wrong about that.
That's where you have your smaller D1s like a Texas State or a Appalachian State or something like that. And then you have University of Texas or the University of Alabama that's got 7 gazillion kids.
So I'll ask you this. Did you play high school football?
I did.
Did anybody else in here play high school football?
I guess John did because he said he played in college.
So here's the question, and this is why I'm bringing it up first. So before I ask the question, we're comparing it to the NFL that already has a system that's been working since the NFL was created. Let's go to high school football for this very reason. You have certain schools that run the table, they're powerhouses, but they play 6-ball, meaning they got 3 offensive linemen, a running back, a quarterback, and a receiver, or 7-ball or 9-ball, because that's what they have. You're not going to run them against the top high schools in the state.
I played college. I mean, high
True.
school.
True.
You're just not, and it's to protect the safety of those kids, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference now?
But I think that
Like
goes
in
to
the state of Texas, everything's based on the population of the schools, and you cannot go more than 2 classifications either way. So if you're a 4A school, you can play 3A or 5A, but you can't play 6 or 2. Obviously, you're not going to put a 6-man team out there against an 11-man team. That would just be ignorant to do something like that when you're going to put an 11-man team on the field against a 6. That just doesn't make any sense. But to put a 1A team out there against a 6-man team, no, or a 6A team, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Why? So why do you want to put Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter against Texas State because they went undefeated?
First off, because college is a whole lot more narrowed down than high school, because anybody and everybody, for the most part, for most schools, anybody that walks on and tries out can play. But at the same time, you also have it funneled down where you've got a whole lot smaller pool. And all of the studs on the teams at all these other high schools are now the college guys, whether they're the best player on the college team or the bench warmer. They were the best on their high school teams. So you funneled down. The thing that it's still a case of, if you're going to classify D1 as D1, everybody that's in D1 should be eligible. If you're going to take away the Sun Belt Conference and, the Mid-American, whatever else they're calling it this week, and only go off of the Power Fives, do that. But then do it. And that's Division I, and everybody, all those other teams go down to Division II. And there is, then you're happy with all the Big 12, ACC, SEC, all that kind of thing playing for the national championship. And you don't have these other teams in there. But until and unless that happens, those other teams in those non-Power 5 conferences, because they are Division I teams, should have the exact same right to win the national championship, to have a chance at it, that your big schools do. Unless you decide to throw them into Division II.
Hey, John, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Who were you on a podcast with from Green Bay?
Huh?
Who were you on a podcast with from Green Bay?
Brian Rago.
Are they with
Cheese Talk Pod.
Oh, okay. I don't know those guys. Sorry. But anyway, did you see the news that Belichick turned down the defensive coordinator job for the?
Literally was going to come in here hot with that news. We're talking at NCAA. Shanahan told him, "You can do anything you want," quote unquote. And Bill was like, "Nah, I'm out."
There was a report that came out about a week ago saying that he is actually still serious about coaching and that he wants to chase Shula's record, but he wanted to be in the right situation.
Wow, I didn't see that. That's crazy.
Bill went to the San Francisco. I mean, I don't know.
He wants to do it as a head coach. He wants the same power that he had. But who's going to give him that?
Right.
Jerry.
Nope.
No,
Jerry's the only one to be goofy enough to do it.
He'll give him the 95%, and that other 5, he's gonna be like, "Hell no, bro. Sorry, nope. I want who I want. You don't get it. Hell no."
Right.
Jerry don't give it to him.
Well, Jerry might be desperate when the Cowboys win the division and then lose in the first round again this year. So we'll see.
The stars are rating. Don't forget it.
You like I did that, huh?
I think, to what Evan said, he's got to go somewhere that's 100%. And good luck finding an ownership, a GM that's going to let you do that. Because telling you, he got lightning in a bottle with Kraft to let him just. That's fine. Go ahead. Go do what you got to do. And did it with Tom and won all the titles. That's great. You're not going to find that nowadays, baby. No way. No way.
And then on top of that, today's player has never had a coach like Bill Belichick, who's going to yell at you, who's going to be in your face, who's going to cuss at you, who's going to talk to you like a football coach talked to us. Who's going to allow him?
Like Bill's one of those like quote unquote old heads, and they look at him. They're like, "Dude, get out of here. The game's passed you by, bro. It's a new game."
He might be, if he really wants to coach, he could go to Alabama and win.
Yeah,
he could go to a Vanderbilt recruit and win. But I don't think that there's a NFL team or a situation that's going to work for him.
there's a team that'll take him, but like you said, like we said, they're not going to give him what he wants. And unfortunately, he was spoiled for that long of a time, over 20 years, to just get whatever he wanted. You're not getting that nowadays, man.
And
I thought he was going to
He needs 15 wins.
It sucks, man. He's so damn close. I thought he was going to the Commanders. I thought for sure it was Washington, man. I thought for sure.
The only place I could see him going is Carolina, but they're so far off.
But they're that desperate, I feel like. They'd be like, you know what? Screw it. What else do we have left? Bring Belichick in. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
2-3
do you think Belichick has three? You think Belichick has 3 years of getting his teeth kicked in to get to that record?
If he's serious about it, the way that you're talking about it, yeah.
That man sweats and lays awake at night thinking about those 15 games. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. We all know Bill better. Come on. That man.
I'm not douding that. I'm just saying, you know as well as I do, Carolina's going to need 3 years.
He's out here dating 22-year-olds, man. He's in a midlife crisis. He can't, man. He's thinking about 15, going for 23. I don't know, man, but I think Carolina's a good pick, though. But again, it's one of those things where I think he's going to have to. You go 80%. It's like watching Hitch. You go 80, they go 20. You can't have 100%, bro. You can't have it anymore. This is New England. You get this much, and then you shut up, and I give you the rest. And that's how we're going to win this. So depends on how bad he wants.
Bug out. Sorry, guys, but I got to bug out. My daughter is flying in from Tucson before she gets deployed this weekend, so she's going to Italy.
Hey, awesome, man! Well, congrats.
I appreciate it. She'll be able to be here for like 4 days, and she's going from here to Italy to do the Air Force thing.
All right. Best wishes, man.
So,
yeah, Rich, I'll see you tomorrow night.
Good luck.
Rich, we got to get together for SummerSlam,
Awesome.
man. I'm going to be in touch the next couple days.
yeah, sounds good. The funny part is SummerSlam's on my birthday.
Hey. All right.
It is. But yeah, man, let's try and do something.
I got a feeler out to Gilbert.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Very
Rich,
nice.
I'll see you tomorrow at some point.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it, guys. Evan, Joe, good to meet you guys.
Same
I
here.
love the debate. I love the debate, Evan. We got to do that again, man.
Oh, we will. we definitely will.
Sounds good, man. See you later,
Good,
guys.
Rich. Talk to you soon, brother.
All right. And he's going. I'm going to head out as well, too. Thanks again for having me on. Great talking to you guys. Jamie, I'll see you tomorrow night.
Normal too.
You got
What's
it,
that?
Joe.
We got you longer than normal too. I like it.
That's it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, we'll definitely be here again. I won't
Nice
say
meeting you,
anything
Joe.
about the Mets. I won't say anything about the Mets Yankees game as I go, but we'll
right.
talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Jamie, Joe, tomorrow Subway Conversation.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Definitely. All right. Good night, guys.
Give me a good
All right,
one.
and there were 4.
You didn't have to say anything. I saw it on TV. But man, the typical Mets though, they tried to hand the Yankees the game, and the Yankees still couldn't take advantage of it. It's unbelievable. The Mets bullpen tried to do what they did and basically give it away, and they just Judge couldn't come through, and they needed to, and it's crazy.
Sox are right there, man. Sox got to be lucky that there's it's shitty right now in the AL, baby. They're only 2 games back. 2 games
Miami
back.
beat Baltimore, which is good.
Huh?
The Marlins beat Baltimore.
And the Sox right now are beating the hell out of the Rockies right now. So
Are they? I was just ready to look.
I think it's 5-6 nothing right now. I checked a little while ago, but I'm telling you, man, I got faith. I'm that dirty water, baby. I'm excited. I think the Sox is sneaking in. I think that's when Korach gives them that charge. I'm not saying that guy was going to go to a Super Bowl and win it. I mean, stranger things have happened. But
see, John knows that you know about the dirty water, John. Every time I say that to Adam, he doesn't get the reference.
Funny thing is, don't know if you know, Jamie. Do you know the show Dirty Water?
I do not.
Okay. Long story short, there's a show on Nesson, Dirty Water. They do a film. They're coming to tap my restaurant at MGM Springfield, August 13th.
The Dirty Water. It's about the Charles River when it used to be one of the most polluted rivers, and then that was a political rally to finally get the river clean, and now it's like one of the cleanest rivers out there.
I mean, that's a little stretch, but it is cleaner than it was. But
it was a political rally to get it.
No, clean. I know. Yeah. Oh, I know. But yeah, no, that the show's coming to tape over at my restaurant in about 3 weeks, so we're pretty excited. But I think the Sox are going to get a run, man. I think that the kids will figure it out. They took a couple on the chin from the Dodgers, deservedly so. I mean, the Dodgers are the Dodgers, so.
Before I get out of here, because I got to get up and go to work early in the morning, I'm going to drop a bombshell.
Ooh.
Guardians trade for Boba Fett.
Did they?
No, I'm saying they will.
Oh, damn, I thought you were like giving me. I was like, oh shit, are you serious?
No, I think they will.
Is he still on the IL?
I don't know if he is or not, but
Okay.
I think that it makes sense, and that's a trade that they're willing to do because we know about their financial woes. He's a guy who's, if we trade for him now, we'll still have him for 2 years. We just drafted Bonanza, or Bonza, however you say his name, which will put him out there. They've been kind of tired, and they don't like the contract that they gave to Gabriel Arias, and he cleaned out his locker today. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they're going.
And now's the time to grab him anyway. He's having the worst career. He's having the worst statistical of his career, the worst offensively. So now might be a good time to grab him because Toronto's probably like, yeah, go take him.
Right. I think that we'll get him. And then the hard part, and this will be the question before I go. Where do the Guardians find pitching knowing that all of the valuable pitchers they could get are in the AL?
Not just the AL, Evan. They're in the AL Central, the same damn division.
Right.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, we know that teams don't like making trades in division, especially in the actual division. It's really tough to do.
Yeah, the actual division,
right. Unless the deal is absolutely one of the strongest gun pulling trigger pulls you'll ever move.
Yeah. That's tough. So, that's a good question.
So where do they go find pitching?
I mean, there's a couple sellers in the NL, but quality. But for what they're going to want and quality wise, that's where you find your dilemma. Like, do you find your diamond in the rough? Do you go find your reclamation project that might help you down the stretch? Like it's tough.
Yeah.
I agree. That's a good question.
Birds.
It's even the Sox too. Like they're 1 or 2 away pitchers. If they had a couple of guys who can just finish a couple more games, get to the bullpen a little later. But where do you go? And the Sox have a decent farm system right now. Not the greatest, but if we're going to grab a pitcher, those teams are going to pull the 2 or 3 people we have left in Worcester, and then that's it. Now we're rebuilding down here too. So And the
Yeah.
Sox are not exactly in a win now.
Don't let them lie to you.
What?
What? What?
But it was good to see you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I get up in the morning.
What are
Evan,
you
awesome
laughing
meeting
at?
you, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Evan, let me know when you're ready to go, buddy.
All right.
What
I'll
are you
let
guys
know.
laughing
Evan, I
at?
need an opening. I need an opener. I need an opening.
So this is what I did for my stuff because I've been looking and kind of finding stuff to get my creatives going. If
Yeah.
you see a clip of something that you like, send it to me on Twitter
Okay.
so that way I can download it, I can record it, use it, and kind of like see what you're looking for,
Okay.
and then kind of put the stuff together.
I got you. I will. No doubt.
Yeah, but Evan, do you think you could do that for me for my baseball show?
I've
I
talked
don't
to
have
Adam
one
about
right
it.
now.
I'm trying to fix everybody's stuff. Everybody's just got to be patient with me as I fix my computer, and
I
then
got
we'll
you.
go from there.
Go
So
fund
glad
me
to have you
forever.
back,
Let's go.
man. It's awesome.
I'm glad to be back.
Good to see you, brother.
Likewise. Night, guys.
All right, buddy.
Later.
I gotta
Well,
be.
that's awesome, man. And we'll do our UF if Evan's still back for Evan's back now for next year. We could do our UFL show we were supposed to do.
I gotta be the guy to dip out. The wife wants some time. It won't be for
What?
much because we gotta get up in the morning, but I gotta go. I usually never leave early, so
Yeah, John, you're still in your work clothes, aren't you?
yeah. Dude, I was the Pike had $1.25 in Worcester. Had backup traffic like 3-4 miles coming out of Springfield, so like I barely got in. Jumped down with Brian, did that, jumped out of there, jumped in the air. So
When does your wife get to see you?
what?
When does it want? Kayla's just gonna have to sit with you like throughout a show. That way
Don't
she's
do
with
that. Don't do that. No, she wants her own mic right here. Don't do that. No. She watches these. Don't do that, Adam. Don't
She don't watch this show. She only watches the show you do with Wrestle Dad.
Yo. She wants to do some kind of show with us together at some point. So maybe that's down the road. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
And we can get her on open mic night. That way it's like separate.
Oh, Jesus. Careful what you ask for, man. But guys, always a pleasure. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, John, take it easy, buddy.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
All right. Well, James, it's down to me and you, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna be getting the ball back rolling here. USFL back in the making. I guess we'll have to pick teams and follow them from there, and that way, you know, we can all do a team.
It's UFL, but yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. We'll sit down, talk to Evan. We'll get the show, we'll get the balls rolling there.
It's not going to start. It doesn't start again until like what, at the end of March or when they haven't decided on a regular season date yet. But yeah, when are we going to start it though? Should are we going to do an off season thing? Are we going to wait till the season starts again? When should we start this up?
When I guess around like right before draft, like maybe a couple weeks before draft.
All right. Hey, I'm glad you want to run your shows on my channel. That's really going to help me too, and the network. So it's a win-win, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna grow this way, and for now, that's all we can do. Unfortunately, you know, they made us switch to the blue check marks only can go live on StreamYard now through Twitter. Yeah. So we're not using your channel. We're just gonna use your channel.
Okay.
I mean, we pay for it. We might as well get it out there and get it going. So
yeah, but how is Joe still able to come out? He doesn't have a blue check.
That's right. He's still on your channel.
Huh?
He's still on your channel. Just got to share it with him.
All right.
So that's that. So we're getting there. I don't feel like forking out more money into Twitter right now to get all these channels blue. I can't do it.
Right,
Like
you just
do.
gotta.
Go ahead.
Wait, are you gonna eventually try to get the driving to the top one blue? Because that one isn't blue.
No, Jamie, with me getting into this wreck and totaling my car, I haven't been able to work like normal because I can't get there. People won't come pick me up every day because I live like a half hour away from work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been difficult the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been picking me up, so that's cool. Ran
Mm-hmm.
into some insurance issues and stuff, but we're getting it figured out. We'll be all right.
Right.
Get back to running.
Okay.
So one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Jamie, you ready to call it a night, bud? What do you got? What do you got going on?
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch my local news and then get a good night rest and get ready for my podcast tomorrow. And I have to write another story for the Forkball.
So tomorrow night on the Pittsburgh channel, we have Josh Yohe coming on. We're gonna be talking Penguins. Just for a little while, probably half hour, 45 minutes with Josh. But sometimes, Josh likes to go over that time, and we let him go, and that's fine. You guys got the Subway Conversation Room tomorrow night at 8:00, I believe.
Yep.
8:00, and then we'll go live at 9. I don't know if Matt's going live tomorrow or not, or Dylan, because he's away. But Jamie, if people want to get you, man, how do they get you?
Yeah, certainly. You guys can catch get a contact me at Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat, and at Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist, at DJ Dog Tags on Twitter, on X. And then you can also catch me in the forkball.com where I write stories for all sports. And then you can always catch me on the Driving to the Top production channel. Don't forget to tune in to our next week's episode of Open Mic next Tuesday, 9:00 on our Driving to the Top YouTube channel. You can also watch it on my X channel, Jamie Malloy X DJ Dog Tags. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for a very special episode 18 of the Subway Conversation Chat with me and Joe Dalio. And then for more information on these two shows I'm on, you can check our YouTube page, our Facebook thing, our page, our Twitch stream, wherever you get your podcast. And don't forget to like, comment, and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page, Driving to the Top Productions. We're glad we can do this. We're glad we're making progress, and we're so glad that Mr. Evan Brogdon is back with us now. So
very exciting stuff. Like Jamie just said, find us on our Driving to the Top YouTube page. Also like, follow, subscribe, all that good jazz. Turn those notifications on. Get our stuff whenever you want. Anyway, sports talking it on the X, whatever we're calling it this week. Yeah, so that's all we got, James. Open mic next Tuesday. We'll do it. We'll do it again, 9:00. And you never know who's going to show up. Tonight we had what, 9, 8?
Yeah, we did.
Nice little open mic night. I like it. So hopefully it grounds some. Hopefully it keeps driving, and we're going. So hey, everybody, have a good night, and we will talk to you tomorrow. But we'll be on open mic next Tuesday.